Hey everyone, welcome. So in today's video I wanted to chat about all the series that I've been reading or wanting to read and want to complete in 2024 and maybe start in some new ones. I got this idea from Gavin Reads It All, which I love their channel. It was a great idea to look at all the series that you are watching or you are reading or in the middle of. I got my spreadsheet and we're gonna go through it and chat about all the series that I've been planning to read in 2024. So we are going by alphabetical order. First series that I've been reading is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J Maas. It's a 5-book series. I've read the first book, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and the second book is A Court of Mist and Fury. I have heard a lot of good things about the second book. I was pleasantly surprised by the first book. I didn't expect a lot. A lot of people bag on A Court of Thorns and Roses, and a lot of people like it. I am definitely in the middle. I like the fantasy aspect of it. I think the first book was surprisingly well written. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I have heard that the second book is the best one yet, so I'm really excited to read this one. So yeah, that's the first series. I do plan to at least complete first trilogy in 2024. Okay, the second series I want to read is I'm currently reading is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, which is like a YA murder mystery book series. It has a 3-book and 1 novella. So I read the first book, which is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and the second book is Good Girl, Bad Blood. So I got the second book with me. I'm gonna read the novella first, which was Killjoy, I think. So yeah, this is the second book and really enjoyed the first book. It was a 5 out of 5 stars. Really great writing, really fast-paced book. Highly recommend it. I haven't read the second one, but I think they wrapped most of the stuff except one small part in the first book, so I think it will be read standalone, but I don't know what's gonna happen in the second part. I think it goes more crazy and crazy, so really excited to read this series by Holly Jackson. Next series that I have started, which is a very big series, let me pick it up. It is a series of unfortunate events by Lemony Snicket. It's I think how much? It's a 13-book series, and it's about these 3 kids who become orphan, have go to different places and meet different people who try to steal their fortune because they were rich, their parents were rich. We have the main villain, Count Olaf, who always tries to steal the money of their kids. It's a fun middle grade book. It's a very famous series. I have read the first 2 and I have all this to go. I'm really excited to marathon it. It's like a fun palate cleanser between in a long series, between reading something very heavy. Series that I have not started and possibly won't get to in 2024 or maybe in 2025 maybe is A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. Okay, so I am a big fantasy fan. I love epic fantasy. Haven't read a lot of it. I've read few. A Song of Ice and Fire, it has, I think, right now 7 books. It hasn't been finished yet. It's very famous. I haven't watched the show. It's very grim dark. Don't have any idea and possibly won't read this in 2024 or upcoming because I have other priorities of other series that I want to read. The next book series that I DNFed in 2024 would be Dune by Frank Herbert. There are 8 books. I read the first one and it was very boring, unfortunately. I tried to read that book so many times and don't want to repeat it again. I know that the books are going to get better and better and better, but the first book is so boring that I cannot get into it. I'm going to enjoy the movies, I'm going to enjoy the series. I think a new series is coming out later this year or next year. Excited for it. So yeah, Dune is a very good franchise, but I'm not into the book. Another series that I'm currently reading, Freedom's Beyond Journey's End, which is a manga. I've read the first volume and then I watched the show. The show was great. It's a 10 out of 10 show. Please watch it. I love it. It's been great. Then I read a little 1 more volume after the show ended to continue it, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know. See, I'm not very good with keeping up with mangas because they release weekly or monthly, and I like to binge read it. And manga is not my favorite medium because the manga are very expensive. I'm more into books than I'm into manga. Anime, but not really into manga. I would love to read manga, but it's not as easily accessible to me than books are. Another book series that I want to start, haven't started it yet, possibly will do it because there are only 3 books out yet, but more are coming, and it's the Gentleman Bastard series by Scott Lynch. So this is the first book, The Lies of Locke Lamora. It's another very popular fantasy classic book. I think it's about pirates, I think, or it's about like thieves. There's like a rivalry between 2 people. I do not have a lot of idea, but people love this book, love this series. I really wanted to start this book, possibly will do, but you know, my priority for this year is to finish the currently reading series and not start new series. So possibly we'll get to it. The next book that I have finished is Harry Potter. I don't want to talk more about it. Loved it when I read it in like 4 or 5 years ago. It is a great series. Moving on, Heartstopper. I'm currently reading. I currently just got the 2nd volume of Heartstopper. I'm gonna show it in the book haul. So Heartstopper is like a graphic novel about like LGBTQ like characters. We have Nick and Charlie, their struggles, and it's very cute, and I'm excited to read more of it. There are, I think, currently 6 or 5 volumes, and it's like ending, so it's a good time to finish this series. The next one I'm currently reading and really excited. Like, I cannot continue this book because it hasn't been out yet. Only the first book is out, and that's the Hierarchy series, or the Will of the Many by James Islington, which is the first book. I read this in January, I think, and it was so good. 5 out of 5 stars. Please read that book. But yeah, I think it's a 4-book series. They just confirmed it. I watched the news. So there are gonna be 4 books. First book is out. Second book is gonna come out like next year. So I will read it later when it comes out. I love this series. Loved the first book, and cannot wait to see how it goes. Yeah, it's about like a prince going into like spying and like having different factions and like trying to keep his identity secret while going to this school to learn like magic, the will magic. Yeah, it's really good. The next book that I am currently reading is another manga, which is Hunter x Hunter by Yoshihiro Togashi. Hunter x Hunter is favorite shows. I love the anime. I'm reading manga slowly, may not finish it, may finish it. I'm very like, I do not really like have incentive to finish a manga. I'm going my pace. If I'm bored reading a lot of books, I will read a manga. 4 volumes out of 37, which are a lot of volumes. Another book series that I DNFed. I've DNFed this book for a long time, which is the Legend series by Maria Lu, which was like Hunger Games, which I love. Talking about Hunger Games, I love Hunger Games. It was my first book I have ever read. It made me fall in love with reading the first time, and so I wanted something like that. So I picked up Legend. I enjoyed it, but I didn't continue with the trilogy, and like I think there are more books. So yeah, I gave it away to my friend, and I'm not gonna read more of it. I think I'm fine with not reading the whole series. I enjoyed it. Next series that I recently read is Legends in Lattes by Travis Baldree. I have the book right here. I'm gonna do a book haul. It's gonna be next video. I'm gonna show it. It looks beautiful, such a good book. And yeah, it is a 2-book series. This is the first book, and there's a prequel called Bookshops in Bone Dust. Really wanna get into it too. It was a very cozy fantasy, got me into cozy fantasy. I want to read more books like it, so if you know, please like tell me about it, which like cozy fantasy book I can read more, because I loved Legends in Latte. It was a great book. Another book series that I read and have DNF'd it, it's a duology. It's called Letters of Enchantment. The first book being Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I read the first one and I thought it was okay. It ended it on a cliffhanger, and I do not want to read more of it because I didn't like the way it was going. I think it was very cheesy. It was very I enjoyed the concept of like these gods like coming to life and like recruiting the normal people to fight war for them. I think that was a really cool concept, but like I didn't really like connected with the characters and like their motivations, right? So I'm not gonna continue it. The next series that I am currently reading is Little Women. It's a lot of people consider Little Women as like a whole book, but I think there are like total four books in Little Women. I have read the first part, which is the Little Woman. Second part is Good Wives, which I want to read sometime. Love the movie, love the first book, made me cry, 5 out of 5 stars. Love the March family, and yeah, really wanna continue with the second book. One of my favorite series that I have finished, and it's made me fall in love with fantasy, is Mistborn Era 1, which is the trilogy of books. First being the Final Empire. It has such a cool magic system about like eating metals or drinking metals, and like gaining like superpowers related to like becoming a magnet, or maybe able to fly off it, and like increases your senses. It's such a cool book. Please read the Final Empire. Mistborn is such a accessible and such a great book to like get into fantasy. Like I love Brandon Sanderson, and this book made me fall in love with fantasy and Brandon Sanderson. And yeah, speaking of fantasy books, one of the most famous fantasy in the world right now is One Piece. I have not caught up with One Piece, kind of behind. I have finished till Wano, which is like a lot, you know. There's like 1,000 chapters. Like I've read like thousands of chapters of One Piece. I have watched half of the show. I watched till Thriller Bark, and then I finished. Then I pick up the manga and like never look back on anime. I know it's been getting good. Really excited for the remake they're making. I just love One Piece. You know, I forget that I'm a One Piece fan until someone brings it up, and then I want to chat about it all day. I just love One Piece, love Luffy, love Oda, and everything related to it. A big One Piece fan here. So yeah, of course I'm gonna be continuing One Piece till the day I die, or whenever it gets finished. I hope it never gets finished, but I do hope it gets finished. I don't know. So I read it arc by arc. So after the Egghead arc completes, ends, I will pick it up again and like read the arc, and then I will wait for the next arc to get finished. That's how I like to read it, because you know I forget to read it weekly. I'm bad with it, as I told you. Next manga that I finished, which is which is possibly my favorite manga of all time, is called Our Dreams at Dusk. It is a very underrated manga. It's about this boy who realizes that he's gay, but all of his classmates find out, and he's trying to like unalive himself. But then he founds this this safe space shelter, and meets a lot of cool people with their sexuality and gender, and like it's every single book in this page made me cry. It's a very important manga to me. It has I just think about this manga a lot, because I haven't cried that much in a long time. Like every single chapter, there are like 4 volumes and like maybe 30 chapters, and every single chapter has made me bawl my eyes out, especially the last like 5 chapters with all the wedding and stuff. Like, oh my god, this is such like a sad book. I know it's not sad, but I freaking relate to that book. It's so good. Like it so captures the being feeling the feeling of like being queer and like being gay, and like having like identity issues with gender, and like finding those friends. I just keep gushing. Like the next series that I'm currently reading is Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Percy Jackson is of course like very long books if you consider its like its sister series, but Percy Jackson and the Olympians, I'm gonna at least try the first 5 books. I have read the first 2. I have 3 books more left, and then I'm gonna finish with the series. If I like it, I'll continue more. It's a good series to like. It's like very light fantasy, really enjoyable plot, and really enjoyable characters. Nothing a lot to think about, just cute fantasy fun. Next series that I'm gonna pick up haven't picked up the Red Rising saga. It's very high up on my TBR. I have heard a lot of good things about Red Rising. I think it's gonna be fun. I Will Love the Many, which I loved, is compared to Red Rising a lot. Another series that I wanna start, which is a small duology, is Six of Crows by Lee Bardugo. I got the first book right here. Six of Crows has been compared, has not been compared, but like it has heist in it. It's kind of dark, so like maybe the Final Empire type of thing. I know it's YA, I think so. But it's said a lot of people love this book. When I first like got into booktube, this was like all the hype about this book. Series that I want to read is I will get this book. I will want to get into this book series so much because the problem with all the series is that all the fantasy series is that either they are not finished or either they are too long. I think this is the perfect, which is The Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. It is a 4-book big fantasy series and it's finished. That's a big point, and I really want to start it. I started it a little bit but didn't got a time to finish it all. This is very high on my TBR. I will read this book. I will read the first book, Malice, very soon. The next series, which is a very big series, I think it's a foreign book series divided into trilogies and quadrilogy. Is that the right word? Quadrology? I don't know. Okay, so these are the first 2 books. I've read the first one, which is Assassin's Apprentice, and the second book, which they get like increasingly thicker and thicker, which I love a big book. And this is Royal Assassin. I wanna at least finish the trilogy in 2024 and may possibly continue with the next series. I think the next one is about ships and monsters, living ships, which I love. My living ships, going very awesome. Okay, the next series, which is also a fantasy series, a trilogy. Everybody loves this series. Everybody's top 10, top 20 is the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee, first being the Jade City. I wanna binge it all on a good day. I wanna read all the three series and like the novellas. Cannot wait. I think it's about martial art and like Godfather kind of series with like superpowers, so it sounds very interesting and really want to read it. Yeah, I got these 3 books. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. These are very small. I didn't realized that these books were so small, so maybe I can read it someday when I'm craving like a comedy science fiction. There are 6 books, so I have got the first, second and the 4th one, so gotta find the others. Next series that I loved is Hunger Games. As I told you, it's my first series that I read. I haven't read the prequel, The Ballad and Songbirds something. I haven't watched the movie, but I am planning to read the trilogy again. Another new book has been announced by Hunger Games, but I'm kind of scared because I don't know if it still holds up, because I have a lot of good memories with Hunger Games, associated with Hunger Games, but I don't think that I have the same reading taste as I had before. A series which I have DNFed and never gonna pick up again, this has a sour taste in my mouth, is The Aragon by Christopher Paolini, The Inheritance Cycle. There are more books coming out. I hated the first one. It was a waste of my time because I had different expectation. This is a lot of people's first fantasy books that got into fantasy, and I get why, because it's so easy to like understand, but it was so like boring and unimaginative. It was very tropey, and like I just didn't enjoy it. It fell apart at the end. I don't want to rant. Okay, speaking of the thing, Inheritance Cycle is inspired by, more like copied by, I don't want to fight, okay, I'm sorry, is Lord of the Rings. So yeah, the first book is The Fellowship of the Ring. Really want to read the trilogy, binge read the trilogy, love the movies, loved The Hobbit. I read it like last year and really enjoyed it. One of my essential books that I want to love and read. Another manga we have here is The Promised Neverland. I enjoyed the first season that came out, and then I heard about the second season, which was a disaster. Do not watch the second season of Promised Neverland. Just continue with the manga, which I did, and I really enjoyed the manga. It was really good. I So this is the series that have made me a big reader. It's the Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I have the first, second book, third book, fourth book, fifth book is coming out in December. Cannot wait. I have yet to read these two big books, so I'm gonna read them. This is my priority. If I don't read anything else, I'll be fine. I need to read this book because it's such a good series. Like I cannot even explain what is this series about. Okay, so the next series, which is also compared to Red Rising and like Will of the Many, is the Sun Eater series. First one being The Empire of Silence by Christopher Rocchio. This has been gotten very popular. I don't know if I want to read it right now, maybe later. Okay, so the next series, which I haven't started, the big 14 book series. I've got like 5 or 6 of them in my TBR, and that is The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan and also Brandon Sanderson. So this book series, I've been wanting to read this book for a long time. I even read the half of The Eye of the World, the first book, but I didn't continue because Stormlight. So yeah, after I finish Stormlight, my main thing that I want to pick up and read is The Wheel of Time before any other series. Wheel of Time is my like upcoming priority. After Stormlight ends, after I read the 5th book in Stormlight series, this is the big series I want to pick up, because it's hard to read all the like big fantasy series at the same time. After I finish Stormlight, it's Wheel of Time. It's Wheel of Time. Another series which I haven't started, possibly won't ever start it, depending on how the Court of Thorns and Roses goes, is the other Sarah J. Maas series, which is The Throne of Glass. I have been wanting to read this series since I started BookTube. It was so popular during like 7-8 years ago in the BookTube, and it's getting more popular right now with all the like new readers reading it, and it's like very TikTok famous, I think. Throne of Glass, it really interested me, but I don't know if I will like it or not, because of course I'm more into epic fantasy now, and this is epic fantasy, but it's more, I don't know, maybe I'll like it, maybe I'll give it a try. We are almost at the end here. So another series by Brandon Sanderson, which only one book is out, the second book maybe come out, is the Warbreaker series, which is also the part of Cosmere. Warbreaker is a very important book to read before you read Stormlight, because there are some characters who show up in Stormlight from Warbreaker. Warbreaker is about this 2 princesses. One of them gets married off to like the evil king, the evil lord, I don't remember the name. The other sister tries to save her sister from the king, and like there are cool magic system of like breathing the souls and like using them to change colors and special superpowers. It's really cool, and I want to read the second book, but it's not gonna come out like for like 4 or 5 years. I do not know the main when it's gonna come out. So these are all the books that I'm currently reading and want to read in the upcoming years. My main priority being Stormlight, and after Stormlight, my main priority being Wheel of Time. Other than that, I really want to read Lord of the Rings, Greenbone Saga, and of course I want to read Robin Hood. I want to get more into Robin Hood. These are all the series that I plan to finish. I will make a video about some of them, marathoning or like having like whole thoughts about it. Let me know what series are you reading right now, what series you plan to read. If you love any of this series that I told, possibly tell me to read them, convince me to read them sooner. Like I would love to know why you love that particular series. This is all the things I wanted to talk about, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.